Hello, runners. This is Coach Bala here. Hope all of you are doing well. Just wanted to start off by saying, can you guys believe it that by this weekend, you will be completing or you have already completed the first week of the peak meso cycle? It is simply astounding when you look back and when you look back at the two warm-up weeks, three mesocycles, that means that is 2 plus 9, 11 weeks, and then one rest week. So 12 weeks of training, and then one more week of mesocycle, peak mesocycle. Or in other words, you all have completed 13 weeks of training already. That includes the rest week. It is simply an incredible achievement. Congratulations for sticking to the plan, believing in it, running within yourself, hopefully learning all the way, listening to the podcasts, listening to the weekend messages. And here we are. Your body, your mind, everything that is required for you to do these long distance run are getting really well tuned, well aligned, and well trained. So fantastic. Congratulations. Very, very, very proud of all of you. In fact, today I had seen many of the runs, the long runs, not just from my own cohort, but across the board. And I see some absolutely astounding runs. 19 milers, 17 milers, 9 milers, 7 milers, 4 milers, 5 milers, pretty much PR runs for many, many new runners or the first time to that distance runners are happening this weekend. And I know that this is a milestone for many of you. A humble brag worthy day, worthy run, and you all should do some humble brags. We all would love to celebrate your success, hard earned, if I may add. So, where are we right now? What is it that we need to be focused on as we think about the peak meso cycle? Remember, just 3 weeks, you do almost 35 to 40% of the total distance that you would be running for the season. That means there is a lot of running yet to come. But you are ready. As you can see from today, this weekend's run, you are getting ready. Mentally, you are ready. So I just wanted to touch on how do you think about the peak meso cycle? Would you be doing the same things, or are there things that you need to be doing differently? And how do you sort of start thinking about aligning yourself for the race day? So let me start from the race day. And at this point, I want to start, or I want to introduce to you the concept of command performance. So in running parlance, I would say in real life as well, this command performance concept is a very important concept. Now, yes, we are all amateur runners. It's not as if our life is dependent on our performance on a race day. We also know that the journey is the destination. That means journey to the start line is more important than what happens between the start line and the finish line. We know that. That's something that we all are already sort of thinking about it. But that said, whom are we kidding? We would like to maximize our performance on a race day. At the end of the day, that's what we're training for. So this is where I want to bring in this concept of command performance. Now, a command performance is a term that reflects this ideology that if you think about it like a curve, not all of us can be always at peak performance. It could be anything, running, it could be anything in life. You can't always be at the peak performance mode. It's always a cycle. You get better at it, you get really good at it, you start training, and then suddenly there will be a certain phase of time. For some, it could be just a couple of days. For some, it could be maybe even 6 months. It can't be definitely years. You can't sustain a top performance for years. Maybe a Sachin Tendulkar could have done it. He also had his ups and downs. Virat Kohli, they all have their ups and downs, right? They can't maintain peak performance for a very long time because there is luck, there is physical, mental, alignment, spiritual, philosophical. All of this need to be aligned 100% to give the absolute best you can possibly give. So we all know that there is always a curve. Your performance goes up, stays there for some time, and then it'll be a little bit of a dip. And then again, it'll go up and, again, reach the next peak. And hopefully the succeeding peaks are better than the previous peaks. But the goal is to keep the plateau of the peak as broad as possible. In that way, you're able to provide. So that's all we can possibly hope for. But the idea of command performance is aligning this plateau or this peak to the day or the moment that matters. So imagine you are aligning your peak performance on your race day. Or in other words, you are able to give the absolute best you can possibly can deliver on the race day, which is what you all want. What happens if your peak performance is a little bit away, a little bit later than the race day? Then obviously, when you finish the race day, you would have realized, shoot, I think I could have done slightly better. You would come out with that thought process. Worse would be what happens if the peak performance is before the race day. Let's say it happened one or 2 weeks before the race day. And then when you come to the race day and you finish the race and you realize, oh my God, actually I did something a lot better than this 2 weeks ago. So not aligning your own peak performance to the day that matters always causes a bit of I won't call it a disappointment, but a bit of a feeling that says, wish I had done this better, that better, so that I could have delivered something better, right? And this happens everywhere. It is not just in running and race day. Think interviews. You can interview really well, you can answer really good questions, but the day of the interview, if you're able to peak performance or during an interview, you get the maximum benefit. On the day of the interview, for whatever reason, your mind is not focused, your thought process is not well aligned, and you're not able to give the best answer that you normally would, you feel, shoot, that was a missed opportunity, isn't it? So the idea of merging the command performance, or merging your best performance to the time that matters is called command performance. And command performance, or how to deliver a command performance, is a life skill far beyond running. That's really what I'm talking about. So then comes the question, now that you've understood what is command performance, then the question is, how do you maximize the probability of delivering command performance? There is no silver bullet to it. Obviously, as I said, there is a luck factor involved as well. How you feel on that day is God's sort of grace. It's entirely possible you wake up on the race day and you feel not good on your stomach. Then that's not a command performance day. So you can plan for all of that. But what you can plan for are things that you can control. And the things that you can control are the following. One, ensuring that you don't deliver a command performance before the command performance day. That you can control. Just think about it. The last long run that you're running. Let's take an example of a full marathon. The last long run is a 20-mile long run, let's assume. And you go all out on the 20-mile run, like absolutely hammer on tongs. Give an incredible performance on that 20-mile run. And then you have 2 weeks of taper, but the 20-mile run has taken a toll on you. That high performance has taken a toll on you, and hence come race day, you are not able to deliver the same level of intensity that you delivered the 20-mile run. Can it be avoided? Yes, it can be avoided. Likewise, let's say you are running Berlin Marathon and you have to fly into Berlin. You have this jet lag. You have all of these things that you need to take care of, and you don't plan properly. So you go there just in the nick of time, just 1.5 days or 1 day before, haven't had much sleep. Obviously, there is no possibility of a command performance. Can you avoid it? Yes, you can. You can manage the logistics accordingly. It is well within your hands, right? Similarly, command performance is also about what you do to support your performance, whether it is a nutrition, whether it is the right gears, whether you are understanding the conditions and running accordingly. All of these things matter. All of these things matter, well controllable. It is within your hands. By doing that, you are increasing the probability of command performance. So if you think about it, from the story from now to your race day is all about first understanding how to maximize your performance on the race day. And that is where the race day strategy comes in. And we will host a session on how to plan for a race day shortly. But we have still some time. We still have some time for the race day, but This is a great time for you to understand what is a command performance and understanding that there are things that you can do now to ensure that you are aligning yourself to command performance. So that lends itself to the peak meso cycle, of which 1 week is already complete. So the question now is, what do I need to do differently in a peak meso cycle, knowing fully well that this is the last meso of training before the race day, knowing fully well that I would like to maximize my ability to deliver command performance on race day. So a couple of things I want to share with you guys. First thing, nutrition becomes a huge element next 2 weeks. Pre-run nutrition, during run nutrition, post-run nutrition. We have discussed this very well in the last State of the Union mid-season meeting. Our coach had explained very beautifully. Those of you who have not attended it or want to refresh it, please go see the recordings I've shared in the Coach Corner, or go to the presentation I've shared. It's also there in your Final Surge email. Take a look at the nutrition section. We have already distilled it for you. You don't have to overthink it. But I'll repeat it for you again right now. Before long run, 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to an hour, have a meal, a good carb meal. Not necessarily you have to overload it, but definitely have a decent carb meal. And it's there in the deck. What type of food you can have? Some good rich in carb. Wait 45 minutes, clear your tummy. Your glycogen levels are high right now as a result. Or in other words, the first 2 hours of your run will be powered by these glycogen. You don't have to worry about it. Second, start the gel strategy. Every 3 miles, you will have a gel, because the idea of the gel is it takes 45 minutes for the gel to get into the bloodstream and give you the energy that it is designed for. So you have it every 3 miles. If you're running a 20-mile run, last 45 minutes, you don't have to have a gel, because anyway, it's not going to be impactful. So if you think about it, if you run, let's say, a 12-minute mile, then last 45 minutes is what, 4 miles. Like that means for up to 16 miles, you can take a gel every 3 miles and then finish the run. So when you take this gel, your glycogen levels are sort of maintained, or it doesn't get depleted quickly. As a result, you don't get into the energy deficit scenario. And because you don't get into energy deficit scenario, you don't bonk. And if you don't bonk, you run. And when you run, you are training your muscles to take on the load for extended period of time, which is what the long run is all about. To time on foot is what we are trying to achieve in this training during peak mesocycle. So during run, gels, some bananas, I take some fruits. Yeah, senior runners, if you can manage it, then you do different types. But first timers or early runners who would like to understand how gel reacts with your body, you should try that out in peak meso, so that when you take the gel during race day, you do not have some issues with that. So that's the second important thing. Thirdly, most of you have done training in summer. Now you're entering fall. Weather is coming down. You are going to feel incredible running. That doesn't mean that you start running at maximum speed because you can. I remember what I told you. You don't no point in giving you the absolute best performance in the peak mesocycle and get injured or got exhausted, or body is like a little bit slammed because of that, and you're not able to give the same performance during race day. So hold up, just hold up a little bit. You have time. You now know that your body is capable. That mental alignment is enough for you to do a good job on the race day. That is enough. That is training. Just finish the time on foot. Of course, catch a little bit. You don't have to hit a PR in terms of speed for every run you do. That's all amateurish. You can't be hitting PRs for every run. Why every run? You can't be getting PRs every race. There will be a limit where you got to get out of this PR focus. PR, for those of you who are hitting for the first time, personal record, like your best speed. So forget about that. Focus on a time on foot. That's the third one I want to tell you about, this peak mesocycle preparation. Then comes the next one, which is make sure you stretch well before and after the run, the dynamic stretching, because you're running longer and longer distances. There is a good possibility your muscles get a bit more impacted. So help your muscle, make it supple. I mean, I do yoga big time now. I mean, that stretching gives me phenomenal benefits. In fact, I hope you guys have taken the free class possibilities, the 3 classes, tried it out. I'll keep telling. I know that every person has their own calling, like what I had just 8 months ago, 20 years ago. If somebody had this calling, I would have been a different person today. But it is what it is. But I will do my part. Keep telling you, yoga, yoga, yoga. One of the best recovery tool for runners, especially, and also a strengthening tool for runners. So do that. So your muscle needs a little flexibility, little suppleness, especially after long runs, before and after. Do the stretching, don't forget it. And then when there are times when you're still running in temperatures 70 degrees and above, I would even call it 65 degrees and above. Even though it's fall, it's early fall, 65 degrees and above, if you're running in the daytime and that. I know that, today, for example, New Jersey, it was 80 degrees and I saw some runners running. You got to do dumping. Just take water and pour it on your head, not drops. I'm talking about pouring on your head. It makes a difference, a huge difference, not a normal difference, a huge difference. And you need that. You got to try it out. When you do that, your body cools down. When the body cools down, or your head especially cools down, your body is able to have a better oxygen transfusion, like higher blood supply to the right parts as opposed to blood going around just cooling the body. So there is a whole new benefit range that you get into. And every small step like this in peak meso helps you. Don't change any shoes now. This is not the time you'll go and buy a new shoe. I am hoping that you already bought a new shoe at the beginning of the season. You're well tested. You're ready. But for some reason, if your shoes are completely worn totally, there's no other option. It is better to buy it now as opposed to buying it just before the race day. You still have a good 25-30% of the run's mileage remaining. So I hope you don't have to change the shoes now. But if you have to, change it right now, so that at least you practice it for 3-4 weeks and then you hit the race day. Okay. So that's what I would say in the peak mesocycle and command performance. So in summary, what I would like to say is your distances are increasing. As your distances are increasing, your strength is also increasing. Your physical strength is especially coming back from the rest week, the body is nicely well rested, nicely well, should I say, cured of all the small micro failures that has happened because of the 3 mesos of training before the rest week. So your body is sort of feeling good. You are feeling good. The weather has come down. Now you would like to just go all out. Control. Control is the name of the game. Command performance is now what we are looking for, which is matching your absolute best output to the day that matters, which is race day. Okay, so think of all of this post-race, post-run, that protein shake, if you can have, it will do wonders to your body's recovery. So do that. Give yourself sufficient rest. Sleep well, please. Please sleep well. When you sleep well, you will do, your body will thank you for it, your mind will thank you for it, and you will become a better runner, a better human being, I would say, because you'll be less irritable, no pain, happy, runners high, all of this will come together. Okay, so hope all this makes sense. Mapping the command performance journey, the journey to command performance, with that of your training plan for the peak mesocycle. On other news, there are a bunch of things that are happening right now. And just wanted to make sure that all of you are aware. I had sent you an email sort of summarizing all your actions. Let me just call out a few things. A great time for you to sign up for a race day, October 19th. Whether you have signed up for other races or not, it's immaterial. If you're running a full marathon in some other race, 2 weeks later, come and do a half marathon here. It's a training run. If you're doing a half marathon, come and do a 10K. If you already finished the race, you can come and do another race. The idea here is to be part of this glorious, successful season 12. When all of us come together, all your coaches are going to be there. It's a nice gala evening, daytime, like not an evening, morning. We run together, we celebrate, we offer medals, we have lunch together. All of us are going to be there. It is just a morning, 7 o'clock or so. We start in different timings. We end by around 1 o'clock after lunch. Please do come, see all of us. I would love to say hello to many of the new runners. Please come, take pictures with our coaches, with our people. It's always a very, 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 very high day. All of us feel really high that day. Okay, so make sure you register for lunch. Bring your friends. Many of your, not necessarily just be only runners high. It can be your friends who want to come and experience what it is. Maybe that's the gift you're giving them for the next season, so that they also can get into this fitness lifestyle. The second one is we have sent you the survey, a feedback survey for all of us. Please take less than 5 minutes of your time and give us the gift of your feedback. I was hoping that only summer runners will provide. I didn't initially send it to the fall cohort, but somehow it has leaked through and all the fall runners have also started giving feedback. So it's open to everybody. Please give your feedback. Fall runners, it's only our second mesocycle. So if you don't mind, please give one now. And then towards the end of the season, we'll do it again so that you can kind of give two feedback. There used to be a time we used to get two feedbacks earlier on anyway. So that's also good, more the merrier. But would love to get 75% of at least of hear from 75% of you. I think we are around the 55, 60% mark right now. So take a little bit time and just give us your feedback. We learn a lot. We have very high standards that we try to maintain. And each and everything that you're experiencing in Runners High is through these surveys where we know what is needed, the pulse of the organization, and try to do that. For instance, the introduction of fall season this time was from that feedback, where our summer, like runners from hot regions like Texas, Florida, and others said that summer season or India, summer season was getting difficult because of extreme heat. And we said, okay, let's give a fall season. So I'm just giving you, like, this is not something where we just take it lightly. We work on it, we act on it, we try our best to see if we can plug as many holes as possible or do more of things that you think we are doing well. Both are important. It's not only about improving, we try to, focus on what is going well. And if you guys like something, we'll continue to give more of that. So help us to help you. Thirdly, our first ever Garba Dandiya dance evening is set for the end of peak meso. Finish your 3 weeks of peak meso, another 2 weeks, and finish your long run. And then we have this beautiful Garba evening on the Navratri day. See, normally every mid-season, we have a mid-season party. It's also about socially connecting our runners. And this time, it just so happened that this was the only time that was possible for all of us logistically. And that was Navratri time. And he said, why not? So we're trying this out. We have a DJ, we have food and drinks, and extremely well, subsidized by RHWB. So it's a great value for an amazing price, just about $30 for the entire, for the location, the music, the food and the drinks and everything put together. And of course, all of us coming together and having fun evening. And let's enjoy Navaratri. Let's enjoy each other's company. I can't wait to see all of you folks. Please do come in. I know that beyond the New Jersey and tri-state area may not, unfortunately, we don't have other places. But in case you guys are traveling here, do come. Do come in. Or if you want to come in just for this, I've seen past occurrences where some of the runners have actually come in just for these kind of parties. It's very nice to have them. So, if you just want to have a nice evening, why don't you all come over? It's not so far away for a good evening of fun and meeting all of us and dancing and eating together. Okay, so that's the third action item for all of you, so to speak. And then t-shirts. Many of you asked for t-shirts for the season. We have about 300 of us have ordered the t-shirts this time. Should be coming in by first week of October, and Mona and team will be distributing them shortly. So just wait for it. First week of October is our target for this season's t-shirt, and I can't wait. Okay, so that's all for this weekend, folks. Can't wait to see the PR runs that are coming up, and can't wait to see you in the Dandiya dance, at least the folks who are around the New Jersey area. Please sign up for the race day. Please give us your feedback. Command performance is the name of the game going forward. Love you all. Keep running, keep training, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week. Take care.